Kang Tae-wan stared at the two dying aliens on the medical table and felt his stomach twist. Their skin, which should have been bright and glowing, looked almost black, like someone had turned off a light inside them. He had never seen anything like it before. "How long do they have?" he asked quietly. Dr. Park Hana checked her scanner and shook her head. "Maybe a few hours. Maybe less. Nothing we do helps them. Every energy source we try just makes them worse." Tae-wan moved closer to the medical table. The aliens were twins, anyone could see that. They had the same face, the same build, the same dying light under their skin. The medical report said their names were Ira and Kale. They came from a species called the Lumini. Their bodies needed energy from stars to survive like plants needed sunlight, but they had been stranded in space for too long, far away from any star that could help them. "There has to be something we can do," Tae-wan said. Captain Choi Woo-jin stood by the door with his arms crossed. "We've tried everything. Solar panels, fusion reactors, even raw plasma. Their bodies reject it all. I'm sorry, Tae-wan, but I think we need to accept that we can't save them." Tae-wan looked down at the twins. Ira's breathing was shallow and weak. Kale's hand moved slightly, reaching for his sister. Even dying, they tried to stay connected to each other. Something about that broke Tae-wan's heart. He remembered something he had read once years ago, a strange paper about human bioelectric fields. Most people thought it was nonsense. The paper said humans generated a special kind of energy that no other species had. It was different from electricity or heat. More complex. More alive. "Let me try something," Tae-wan said suddenly. Hana looked at him with concern. "Try what?" "Just give me a minute." He stepped up to the table and placed one hand on Ira's chest and one hand on Kale's. Their skin felt cold, like touching metal in winter. He closed his eyes and tried to focus. He thought about warmth, about life, about the energy flowing through his own body with every heartbeat. Nothing happened at first. Tae-wan felt stupid, standing there with his eyes closed, his hands on two dying aliens. The captain probably thought he had lost his mind. But then he felt something change. A tingling sensation started in his chest and moved down his arms. It felt like his blood had turned warm then hot. "Tae-wan, your hands are glowing," Hana said, her voice full of shock. He opened his eyes. Golden light was flowing from his palms into the twins. Not regular light, but something deeper, something that seemed to sink into their skin and spread through their bodies. Ira gasped. Kale's back arched. The black color of their skin started to change, becoming gray, then pale blue, then a beautiful azure color. The light kept flowing. Tae-wan felt dizzy. His legs shook. The room started to spin around him. He heard Hana shouting something, but her voice sounded far away. The golden light grew brighter and brighter until it filled the entire medical bay. Then everything went dark. When Tae-wan woke up, he was lying in a bed in the medical bay. His whole body ached like he had run a marathon. His head pounded. He tried to sit up but barely had the strength to lift his head. "Don't move," Hana said, appearing beside him. "You've been unconscious for 3 days." 3 days? His voice came out rough and dry. "You collapsed right after whatever that was. Your energy levels dropped to almost nothing. I've never seen anything like it." She held up a scanner. "But you're recovering now, slowly." "The twins?" Tae-wan asked. Hana smiled. "See for yourself." She moved aside and Tae-wan saw them. Ira and Kale stood near the window, their skin glowing with soft blue light. They looked healthy, alive, beautiful even. When they noticed he was awake, they rushed to his bedside. "You saved us," Ira said through the translation device on her collar. Her voice was soft and musical. "You gave us your life energy. No one has ever done that before." Kale nodded. "We are in your debt forever. By the laws of our people, we are bound to you now." Tae-wan shook his head, confused. "Bound to me? What does that mean?" "It means we belong to you now," Ira explained. "You are our energy source, our savior. We cannot leave your side." "Wait, that's not... I just wanted to help." "You don't belong to anyone." Tae-wan looked at Hana for help, but she just shrugged. "I've been reading about Lumine culture," Hana said. "When someone saves a Lumini life through direct energy transfer, it creates something called an essence bond. It's a big deal for them. Very serious." Over the next few days, Tae-wan learned just how serious it was. Ira and Kale refused to leave his quarters. They sat outside his room when he slept. They followed him to the cafeteria, to the research lab, everywhere. At first, it annoyed him. He wasn't used to having constant company. But slowly he started to notice strange things. When Ira felt nervous during a drill alarm, Taewan's heart started racing for no reason. When Kale laughed at something on the view screen, Taewan found himself smiling even though he hadn't seen what was funny. It was like their emotions were bleeding into his mind. One night he woke up suddenly with the feeling that something was wrong. He rushed out of his room and found Kale sitting in the hallway looking upset. "How did you know I was sad?" Kale asked, surprised. I just felt it," Taewan said. Hana ran more tests. The results shocked everyone on the ship. The energy transfer had created more than just a cultural bond. Their brain patterns had synchronized. They were connected on a deep biological level. Taewan could sense the twins' feelings. They could sense his. "This is unprecedented," Hana said, staring at her scanner. "Your neural patterns match theirs in several key areas. It's like the energy you shared rewired parts of all your brains to communicate with each other." Captain Choi called Taewan to his office the next morning. His face looked serious. "We have a problem. The Viridian Empire found out about what you did. They're demanding we hand over the twins and bring you to their space for study." "Study?" Taewan felt cold. "What kind of study?" "The kind you don't come back from," the captain said grimly. "The Viridian Empire has been hunting Lumini for years. If they learn that humans can save them, they'll want to control that power." Ira and Kale entered the office. They must have sensed Taewan's fear through the bond. Ira spoke first, her glowing eyes full of worry. "We need to tell you the truth. Our people are almost extinct. The Viridian Empire poisoned our star and hunted us across the galaxy. We are among the last survivors. If they capture you, they will use you to enslave any Lumini still alive." Taewan looked at the twins, at their glowing skin and worried faces, at these two people he had saved without thinking. He felt their fear through the bond, felt their determination to protect him even as he had protected them. "Then we don't let them catch us," he said simply. The captain nodded. "That's what I hoped you'd say. But you need to understand, this changes everything. You're not just a researcher anymore. You might be the most important human in the galaxy now." Taewan touched his chest, feeling the strange new connection humming beneath his skin. He didn't want to be important. He just wanted to help. But as he looked at Ira and Kale, he knew there was no going back. Whatever happened next, they would face it together. The attack started 2 days later. Taewan was in his quarters studying Lumini history when the ship's alarm screamed to life. Red lights flashed everywhere. He jumped up and ran toward the bridge with Ira and Kale close behind him. 3 Viridian warships, Captain Choi announced as they entered. "They're demanding we surrender you and the twins." Through the view screen, Taewan saw the enemy ships. They looked like dark metal insects with too many legs. Weapons ports glowed along their hulls. The largest ship sent a message that appeared on the screen in harsh red letters. "Hand over the human and the Lumini, or we will destroy your vessel." The captain looked at Taewan. "It's your choice. I won't force you to do anything." Taewan felt anger rise in his chest. Or was it Kale's anger? He couldn't tell anymore where his feelings ended and theirs began. "We run," he said firmly. The captain grinned. "Good answer. Hold on to something." The ship lurched forward as the engines roared to life. The Viridian warships gave chase immediately. Energy blasts lit up the space around them. The whole ship shook with each near miss. Hana grabbed onto a railing, her face pale with fear. For 6 hours they ran. The captain used every trick he knew. He flew through asteroid fields and behind planets. He pushed the engines past their safety limits. Smoke filled parts of the ship. The crew worked frantically to keep everything running. Finally, they managed to lose the Viridian ships near a dense nebula. "We can't keep doing this," the captain said after things calmed down. "They'll find us again. And next time, we might not be so lucky." He gathered the senior crew in a meeting. "I'm sending most of the crew to safety. They'll take the shuttle pods to the nearest friendly station. A small team will stay with me to get Taewan and the twins to Earth. Our government can protect them there." Hana refused to leave. "You'll need a doctor," she said stubbornly. "Especially with these 3 and their weird bond." Over the next week, they made their way through dangerous space. The small crew left behind worked in shifts, always watching for enemy ships. Taewan spent most of his time with Ira and Kale, trying to understand the connection between them. "Can you teach me to control this bond?" he asked them one evening. Kale nodded. "Our people have old techniques. We never thought we would use them with an alien, but they might work." They sat in a circle on the floor. Ira and Kale showed Taewon how to meditate, how to feel the energy flowing between them like threads of light. At first, Taewon felt nothing, but slowly, with practice, he started to sense it, a warm current that moved from his heart to theirs and back again. The energy you give us makes us stronger, Ira explained. But the bond gives you something too. You just have to learn how to use it. Taewon didn't understand until the next attack came. They were passing through the Cygnus belt when two Viridian fighters appeared from nowhere. The ships were small but fast. They hit the engine room before anyone could react. Fire broke out. The ship listed to one side. Taewon ran to the engine room with the twins. The damage was bad. Sparks flew everywhere, but worse, Ira had been near the door when the blast hit. A piece of metal had cut deep into her arm. Blue blood poured from the wound. "Ira!" Kyle screamed. Without thinking, Taewon grabbed Ira's arm. That same golden light poured from his hands. But this time it felt different. More focused. More controlled. The light sank into Ira's wound and the flesh began to knit back together. Within minutes, the cut had closed completely. Only a faint scar remained. Taewon staggered, feeling drained. But not as badly as before. Somehow he was getting better at this. "How did you do that?" Hana asked, staring at Ira's healed arm. "I don't know. I just wanted her to be okay." Hana ran her scanner over all three of them. Her eyes went wide. "Taewon, the bond is evolving. You're not just keeping them alive anymore. You can heal them. Maybe even enhance them." Over the following days, Kyle taught Taewon more techniques. How to breathe to build up energy. How to visualize the light flowing through his body. How to pull strength from the bond when he needed it. Taewon found he could run longer without getting tired. His reflexes got faster. His senses sharper. "The bond works both ways," Kale explained. "We take your energy, yes, but we give you something in return. Strength, speed, enhanced senses. The more you learn to accept it, the stronger you become." But there was a cost. Each time Taewon used his power to heal or energize the twins, it took longer for him to recover. Hana noticed it first. "Your base energy levels are dropping. Every time you share your life force, you lose a little bit of yourself permanently." "I don't care," Taewon said. "I'm not going to stop helping them." Ira looked heartbroken. "We can break the bond. There are ways. We don't want you to die because of us." "No," Taewon said firmly. "I've seen your memories through the bond. I know what the Viridian Empire did to your people. I won't abandon you." Through the connection they shared, Taewon had glimpsed fragments of the twins' past. He saw their home world with its beautiful purple star. He saw the day the Viridian Empire came and poisoned that star with dark matter. He saw thousands of Lumini dying, their light going out forever. He saw Ira and Kale running, hiding, barely surviving. "Your people didn't deserve what happened," Taewon said softly. "If I can help fix even a small part of that, then whatever happens to me is worth it." They finally reached Haven's Gate, a hidden station in neutral space. The man who ran it was named Lee Jamin. He was a smuggler, but the good kind, the kind who helped people who had nowhere else to go. He had sharp eyes and a knowing smile. "So you're the human everyone's talking about," Jamin said, looking Taewon up and down. "The one who can save Lumini with his bare hands." "I didn't ask for this," Taewon said tiredly. "No one ever does." Jamin poured them drinks. "But you need to know something. There are more Lumini out there. Not many, but some. They're all dying, just like these two were. Word is spreading about what you did. Some people think you're a miracle. Others think you're a weapon. What do you think?" Taewon asked. Jamin smiled. "I think you're just a guy who wanted to help someone. But that's going to make your life very complicated." He was right. News reached them that Earth's government was fighting over what to do. Some wanted to protect Taewon. Some wanted to study him. Some wanted to lock him away where no one could find him. Everyone had an opinion about what his life should be. Taewon sat in his room that night with Ira and Kale. Through the window he could see stars spreading out forever. Somewhere out there were more Lumini dying slowly in the dark. And somewhere out there the Viridian Empire was planning their next move. "I can feel your thoughts," Ira said quietly. "You want to save them. All of them, wouldn't you?" Taewon asked. "Yes," Kale said. "But it might kill you. You've already given so much of yourself to us." Taewon looked at his hands. They didn't look any different. But he could feel the energy humming under his skin now, always there, always waiting to be used. "Then we figure out a way to do it without dying. There has to be a way." The twins looked at each other. Something passed between them. Some silent communication that Taewon couldn't quite catch. Finally, Iris spoke. There might be. On our colony ship, the elders know secrets about the essence bond that were never written down, but reaching the ship is dangerous. The Viridian Empire watches it constantly. Then that's where we go next, Taewon said. Captain Choi tried to talk him out of it. So did Hana. They said it was suicide. They said he had already done enough. But Taewon had made up his mind. He could feel the dying lumini out there through the bond, like distant candles flickering in the wind. He couldn't ignore them. I have to try, he told his friends. Not because I'm special or important. Just because I can. That has to be enough reason. Jaemin agreed to help them. He knew secret routes through space that the Viridian Empire didn't watch. It would take weeks, maybe months. But they would get there. As they prepared to leave Haven's Gate, Taewon felt the bond pulse inside him. Ira and Kale's determination mixed with his own. Whatever came next, they would face it as one. The journey to the Lumini colony ship took 5 weeks. 5 weeks of hiding in asteroid fields and taking routes that no sane pilot would use. Jaemin's ship was smaller than the old research vessel, which made it easier to hide but much less comfortable. Everyone was tired and on edge. Taewon spent his time training with the twins. Every day they practiced controlling the energy flow between them. Kale would create exercises, teaching Taewon how to sense danger before it came. Ira showed him how to store energy in his body like a battery, so he wouldn't drain himself empty every time he helped them. Our people trained for years to master these skills, Ira said one morning. You're learning in weeks. It shouldn't be possible. Maybe humans are just fast learners, Taewon joked, though his whole body ached from the training. The truth was more complicated. Hana's scans showed that Taewon's biology was changing. His cells were adapting to the constant energy transfer. His nervous system was rewiring itself. He was becoming something between human and Lumini. Something new, does it scare you? Hana asked him during one checkup. Sometimes, Taewon admitted. I look in the mirror and my eyes glow in the dark now. That's not normal. But then I feel Ira and Kale through the bond, and I know I'm not alone in this. That helps. One night, Taewon woke up suddenly. His heart was pounding. Something felt wrong, but he couldn't say what. He got up and found Ira sitting in the common area, staring out the window at the stars. You felt it too? She asked without turning around. Felt what? Danger. It's coming. Ira's skin flickered with nervous light. The bond is warning us, she was right. 2 hours later, alarms blared. 3 Viridian ships had found them somehow. They came out of nowhere, weapons already firing. Jaemin cursed and threw the ship into a wild spin. Laser fire lit up the space around them. We can't outrun 3 ships, Captain Choi shouted over the noise. Then we don't run, Taewon said. An idea had come to him, crazy but possible. Ira, Kyle, remember that shield technique you showed me? The twins understood immediately. All 3 of them ran to the engine room. Taewon placed his hands on the ship's power core, while the twins stood on either side of him. He pushed energy into the core, more than he had ever pushed before. The golden light flowed from him into the machine. Ira and Kale shaped the energy using their Lumini abilities. They twisted it, molded it, turned it into something the ship's systems could use. The power core hummed louder and louder. Then a shimmering barrier appeared around the entire ship. It looked like gold and blue light woven together. The Viridian weapons hit the barrier and bounced off harmlessly. The enemy ships fired again and again, but nothing got through. Jaemin used the moment to push the engines to maximum. They shot forward, leaving the Viridian ships behind. When they finally escaped, Taewon collapsed. He had never used that much energy at once before. Hana rushed over to check him, but Ira and Kale were already there. They placed their hands on his chest, and for the first time, energy flowed backward through the bond, from them to him. Blue and gold light surrounded Taewon. He felt strength returning to his body. His exhaustion faded. When it was over, he stared at the twins in amazement. I didn't know you could do that. Neither did we, Kale said, looking surprised. The bond is getting stronger. We're learning together. After that, Taewon practiced the shield technique every day. Sometimes it worked perfectly. Sometimes it failed and left him tired and frustrated, but each time he got a little better. Ira and Kale improved too, learning how to better shape and control human energy. You 3 are like a weapon, Jaemin observed one day. Separately, you're strong. Together, you're something the Viridian Empire has never seen before. We're not a weapon, Taewon said firmly. We're just trying to survive. But he knew Jamin had a point. The bond made them powerful. Dangerous, even. No wonder the Viridian Empire wanted to capture them, and no wonder Earth's government didn't know what to do with them. They finally reached the Lumini colony ship after 5 weeks of running. The ship was called the Eternal Dawn, and it looked ancient. Parts of it were dark and dead. Other parts flickered with weak light. It drifted through space like a ghost. That's where your people are? Taewon asked, his heart sinking. What's left of them, Ira said sadly. Through the bond, Taewon felt her grief like a physical weight in his chest. They docked with the colony ship carefully. The inside was worse than the outside. The corridors were dark and cold. Lights flickered and died. They walked through empty halls that should have been full of life. Finally, they reached the main living area. 47 Lumini waited there. Taewon could count them all. 47 beings where there should have been thousands. Most of them were barely glowing. Their skin a dull gray color that meant they were close to death. Children sat in corners too weak to play. Elders lay in beds, their breathing shallow. By the stars, Hana whispered. They're all dying. An old Lumini approached them slowly. His name was Elder Yun, and he looked ancient. You brought the human, he said to Ira and Kyle. The one who shares life energy. His name is Taewon, Ira said. And yes, he saved us. He wants to save all of you, too. Taewon stepped forward. 47 pairs of dimming eyes turned to look at him. He felt their hope through the bond, but also their fear. They had been disappointed so many times before. They didn't dare to believe again. I don't know if I'm strong enough to save everyone, Taewon said honestly. But I have to try. Will you let me? Elder Yun studied him for a long moment. Then he nodded. Your spirit is brave, human. But you should know the cost. If you spread your energy too thin, you will die. Are you prepared for that? Taewon looked at Ira and Kale. He felt their fear for him through the bond. They were begging him silently not to do this. But he also felt the dying Lumini all around him. Children who had never known what it felt like to be healthy. Parents who couldn't protect their kids. Elders who remembered better days. I'm prepared, he said. Hana grabbed his arm. Taewon, no. We'll find another way. We can bring more humans here, find others who have the same ability. That will take too long. They'll be dead by then. He gently pulled free from her grip. Besides, Ira and Kale will help me. We're stronger together, remember? The twins moved to stand beside him. They took his hands. Through the bond, Taewon felt their love and loyalty, their determination to protect him even as he protected others. Together, they walked into the center of the room. Taewon closed his eyes and opened himself to the bond completely. He let down every wall, every defense. Energy poured out of him in a wave of golden light. It filled the room like sunrise, touching every Lumini there. Ira and Kale shaped the energy, directing it where it was needed most. The children gasped as color returned to their skin. The parents sat up, strength flowing back into their bodies. The elders wept as they felt truly alive again for the first time in years. The whole ship began to glow. Light spread through the corridors, chasing away the darkness. But Taewon felt himself fading. He had never released this much energy at once. It was like pouring out his soul. His vision blurred. His legs gave out. He would have fallen if Ira and Kyle hadn't caught him. Enough, Kale shouted. Stop, you're killing yourself. But Taewon couldn't stop. The energy kept flowing out of him. He saw through dimming vision as the last of the Lumini returned to full health. As children stood up and laughed. As families held each other with tears of joy. Then everything went black. When awareness returned, Taewon didn't know how much time had passed. He couldn't move, could barely breathe. He heard voices above him but couldn't make out the words. Through the bond, he felt Ira and Kale's terror. They thought he was dying. Maybe he was. There is a way to save him, Elder Yun's voice cut through the fog. But it will change all three of them forever. Tell us, Ira demanded. Whatever it is, we'll do it. The ritual of 3 souls, the elder said. It's ancient, forbidden by most. It will bind your lives together permanently. You will share one life force, one destiny. If one dies, all die, but you will also share one strength. Do it, Kyle said without hesitation. You don't understand, Elder Yun continued. The human will no longer be fully human. You will no longer be fully Lumini. You will become something new. something that has never existed before. Through the bond, Tae-wan felt the twins' determination. They didn't care about staying pure Lumine. They only cared about saving him, just as he had saved them. With the last of his strength, Tae-wan whispered, "Do it." The ritual began. The council debated for 3 days. 3 long days where Tae-wan stayed in a secure facility with Ira and Kale. They weren't prisoners exactly, but armed guards stood outside their door. The message was clear. Earth didn't trust what they had become. On the 3rd night, Tae-wan sat by the window looking out at the city lights. Through the bond, he felt Ira's frustration and Kale's quiet anger. They hated seeing him treated this way after everything he had sacrificed. "We could leave," Ira suggested. "Fight our way out if we have to. Find somewhere in the galaxy where people won't fear us." "No," Tae-wan said. "Running won't solve anything. If humanity can't accept what I've become, then I need to show them there's nothing to fear." The next morning, Ambassador Nari visited them. She looked tired but hopeful. "The council has reached a decision. It wasn't easy and it wasn't unanimous. But you're free to go." "Free?" Kale asked suspiciously. "Just like that?" "Not exactly. There are conditions." Nari handed Tae-wan a data pad. "You'll work with our diplomatic corps to help other species. We've received hundreds of requests for aid from alien civilizations. Some are asking for medical help. Others want to learn about the Triad Bond. Earth wants you to be our ambassador to the stars." Tae-wan read through the conditions. He would have freedom to travel and help others, but he'd need to report back to Earth regularly. He couldn't create new Triad bonds without approval from both human and alien governments. And he'd always have a small security team with him, officially for protection but also for observation. "It's not perfect," Nari admitted. "General Yang wanted stricter controls. Counselor Bayek wanted you quarantined. This was the compromise." "I'll take it," Tae-wan said. It was better than being locked away, and it meant he could continue helping others. They were given a new ship called the Trinity. It was small but fast, with advanced shields and weapons for protection. Captain Choi agreed to serve as their pilot. Hana signed on as medical officer. Jamin joined as their navigator, claiming he knew every hidden route in the galaxy. Their first mission came quickly. A distress call from a Lumini group trapped on a dying space station in the Outer Rim. Pirates had attacked them and destroyed their energy supplies. Without help, they would die within days. The Trinity raced through space, pushing its engines to the limit. Tae-wan spent the journey meditating with Ira and Kyle, preparing himself. The Triad Bond made energy sharing easier, but healing dozens of dying Lumini would still be challenging. They reached the station and found chaos. 23 Lumini huddled in the dark, their skin barely glowing. Children cried from hunger and fear. The station's life support was failing. They had maybe 6 hours left. "We need to evacuate them," Captain Choi said. "No time," Tae-wan replied. "They're too weak to move. We heal them here, then evacuate." He entered the station with Ira and Kale. The moment they saw the dying Lumini, all 3 felt the same pull, the same need to help. They moved to the center of the group and joined hands. Energy flowed from Tae-wan, shaped by the twins, and spread to every Lumini present. Golden and blue light filled the station. The dying began to heal. Color returned to gray skin. Weak breathing became strong. Within 20 minutes, all 23 survivors were healthy enough to evacuate. They stared at Tae-wan with wonder and gratitude. "The stories are true," one of them whispered. "The human who became one with the Lumini." News of the rescue spread. Other species began requesting help. Not just Lumine, but beings suffering from energy-based diseases that human Lumine hybrid power could heal. Tae-wan and the twins traveled from world to world, helping where they could. They saved a colony of crystal beings whose energy matrix had been corrupted. They healed a plague on a water world by energizing the entire ocean. They even helped broker peace between 2 warring species by proving that different kinds of beings could become one family. Everywhere they went, people called them the Triad. Some worshipped them. Others feared them, but no one could deny the good they did. After 6 months, Tae-wan stood on the bridge of the Trinity and looked at the star map. They had traveled to 30 different systems, helped hundreds of people, and somehow he felt more human than ever before, not less despite his changes. More, because he was using his humanity for what it was meant for: connection, compassion, understanding, Incoming message, Captain Choi announced. It's from Earth. Ambassador Nari appeared on screen. Taewon, I have news. 5 more humans have successfully bonded with Luminae. They're not triad bonds like yours, just simple essence bonds, but it's a start. Taewon felt joy surge through him, amplified 3 times by the bond. That's wonderful. More than wonderful. It means the Luminae species will survive. With human energy sources, they can rebuild their population. Nari smiled. You started something amazing. A new relationship between species, humans and Luminae working together, becoming family. After the call ended, Taewon walked to the observation deck. Ira and Kale found him there as they always did. Through the window, a binary star system glowed in the distance. 2 stars orbiting each other, forever bound by gravity. Do you regret it? Kale asked quietly. Losing your humanity? Your normal life? Taewon thought about the question. He thought about the scared researcher he used to be, working alone in a lab, never quite connecting with anyone. He thought about the moment he first touched the dying twins and felt their desperation. He thought about all the lives saved, all the connections made. I didn't lose my humanity, he said finally. I found out what it really means. Being human isn't about having human DNA or looking a certain way. It's about choosing to help others, about building bridges instead of walls. Ira took his left hand. Kale took his right. Through the bond, Taewon felt their love and agreement. They had all changed. They were no longer what they used to be, but what they had become together was so much better. The Viridian Empire is still out there, Ira reminded him. They won't forgive what we've done. They'll come for us eventually. Let them come, Taewon said. We're ready, and they were. The triad bond had made them strong, not just physically, but in every way that mattered. They had each other. They had a purpose. They had proven that different species could not just coexist, but truly become one. More importantly, they had shown humanity a new path. Before the triad, humans had always approached aliens as either threats or resources. But Taewon proved there was a third option. Family. True, deep connection that went beyond politics or trade. The kind of bond that changed everyone involved for the better. What's our next mission? Kale asked. Captain Choi's voice came over the intercom. We've got a distress call from the Andromeda sector. A research team studying energy phenomena got stranded. They're running out of power. Taewon smiled. Then that's where we go. The Trinity turned toward Andromeda, its engines glowing bright. Inside, Taewon felt the familiar warmth of the bond connecting him to Ira and Kale. 3 hearts beating as one. 3 minds sharing one purpose. 3 bodies working together to make the galaxy a better place. Earth had given him to the stars as an ambassador. But he had become so much more than that. He was proof that humanity's greatest strength wasn't weapons or technology. It was the ability to connect, to change, to give everything for someone else and discover that in giving, you receive far more than you sacrifice. The Viridian Empire had wanted to use Luminae weakness against them, but they hadn't counted on humanity's strange gift for bonding with other species, for seeing people instead of aliens, for choosing compassion over fear. Taewon looked at his hands, still glowing faintly with golden light. These hands had touched dying aliens and given them life. These hands had been changed forever by that choice, but he wouldn't take it back. Not for anything. You gave us energy when we were dying, Ira said through the bond, feeling his thoughts. And now you claim me. Taewon finished, smiling. But you know what? I claim you back. All of this, everything we've become. I choose it, every single day. Through the window, stars stretched out forever. A galaxy full of species waiting to meet each other, to help each other. To maybe, if they were brave enough, become family the way Taewon, Ira, and Kale had. The Trinity accelerated toward the next adventure. Behind them, Earth grew smaller. Ahead, the unknown grew larger. But Taewon felt no fear. He was never alone. He was part of something greater than himself. Something that proved love and connection could cross any distance, bridge any difference, unite any species. He was the triad. And this was just the beginning. The galaxy had changed the day a human chose to give everything to save 2 dying aliens. It changed again when those 3 became one. But the biggest changes were still to come. Because now others were following their example. Humans bonding with aliens. Different species learning to trust each other. Barriers falling. It wouldn't be easy. The Viridian Empire wouldn't give up. Other threats would emerge. There would be setbacks and losses. But Taiwan knew something the Empire didn't, something that made all the difference. Love was stronger than fear. Connection was stronger than control, and three souls united in purpose could change everything. The stars awaited, and the triad was ready.